Day, tonight actually, we're going to talk about three strategies to survive your in-laws this Christmas. Your in-laws this Christmas. So I got to be honest with you guys and transparent. Christmas is the busiest time of my year. Christmas, oh my God, I get booked solid, and couples come in and they're happy. They're happy they're going to spend some time together. But boy, they got some challenges afoot. It is the busiest time because couples are going to spend time with their in laws and couples are going to spend time with each other. So, we're going to give you some ways to make this Christmas a little bit more merry and a little bit more cheery. So, the first thing I want to say, particularly, so some of us just have great in laws, just love them, can't get enough of them. We want to see them every moment of every day. For those of you with those types of in laws, kudos. Hey, God, it is a blessing. I'm sure you guys have fun. Some of us, we got to figure out how to negotiate the in laws. Doesn't mean we don't like the in laws, but sometimes too much of a good thing can get too good. So, we are going to talk about three strategies. I am Dr. Shane, and I'm excited to have you in the group African American Marriage Counseling with Dr. Shane. So, let me first start by saying this COVID, we're lucky, period, to have everybody that we have. This is one of those times where we've been through a lot. So let's think about it. Let's think about really making this work because people are happy to be around their family. Last Christmas, I know a lot of us couldn't. So the first things I want you to do is accept that when you get married, it is a cross-cultural experience. It is a cross-cultural experience. What do I mean by that? So, families are very different. So, a lot of times we think racially, culturally, you're Nigerian, I'm Nigerian, you're Caribbean, I'm Caribbean, you're from South Kakalaki, I'm from South Kakalaki, you're from New York, I'm from New York. We're the same. Not the same at all. Different families are different. They're usually different in two ways. Families have what we call personalities, spouses have what we call personality. Families have what we call cultures, what we call cultures or lifestyles. Certain things families are. Give an example. So we go to a family that is a family of drinkers and we're not drinkers. And we know by the time that second drink comes out, it is over. It is over. And your spouse is a non drinker. Different culture. Different culture. We do things different. We have different lifestyle. Personality. Some families are very gregarious, loud. Some families are angry. Some families, we don't talk that much. Some families, after you get that meal, you need to best be on the road. You've opened your gifts. Let's go, right? So it's just different. So I want us just to recognize it's not personal. It's not personal. We have to cut a deal. So I had this family come in, and they were going back to Detroit, right? Be with her family. And her family was drinkers. He did not drink at all. He did not drink at all. So they just cut a deal. They got a hotel, but they got a hotel with a big swimming pool. And they got this hotel and they agreed. When that second round of drinks gets poured, he was out of there. But he was taking all the kids with him from everyone's family, and they were going to be by the pool and he was going to babysit. Cut a deal. Cut a deal. Sometimes you got to give up something you don't like. He's like, well, I'd rather you not drink. But she wasn't giving that up. He was like, I'd rather you be here. Wasn't giving that up. So just recognize we have to cut a deal. So lifestyle. I'm from an angry family, y'all. We fight, but it don't mean nothing to us. We could fight, have a drink with you. The next moment, we are good. That is not every family. Some family have very proper etiquette. They eat the meal. They don't go at each other directly. So figure out what is the culture of your family, because this year you're trying to be different. This year you're trying to say, babe, I love you. Let me give you this. So I say that from the standpoint that families are different culturally. And if you want it to work out, you have to cut up a deal. But to cut a deal, you got to give up something that's important to you. That's important to you. But what you will get in turn is your spouse being very grateful. So let me tell you, family feuds. Family feuds are when a daughter or a husband has to choose between being a good daughter or a good son or a good husband or a good wife or a good brother or a good sister. And this family feuds. And they're catch 22 because they're damned if they do and damned if they don't. You're the only one that can let them off the hook. So I want you to figure it out so that we say, hey, this is once, twice a year, but the other 6 months we are good. So, anyways, that's the first thing. Recognize it's a family feud. Make that one of the gifts you give to your spouses this year. You'll help them win the family feud. So that's one thing in the case that your family doesn't work as well as others. So, gotta be real with you, right? Sometimes we do all this planning and it still goes bad. It still goes bad. So let's just plan it. Let's just plan it. So you're over there and there's a situation where they're disciplining your kids and you don't like them disciplining your kids, or the other kids are playing too rough. Let's just agree on how we're going to manage it. Are we going to manage it offline? Is he going to do the discipline or is she going to do the bliss of discipline? And that matters, especially depending on whose family you're visiting. Because if you're visiting their family, you might not want to be the one that delivers the bad news, especially if you're already the bad person in their eyes. Make sure that we plan that, hey, you're going to deal with all situations. I'll sit back. I'll trust you. I'll be quiet. I won't deal with it myself. But boy, you sure need to find a way to deal with this, because if I have to deal with it, by God, they won't like the way things go. So another thing that I really want you to do is I want you to find a way to carve out your time together, especially if you have a spouse whose love language is quality time or physical touch. I want you during this holiday to carve it out. And if your spouse is the one doing all the compromising, you need to carve out something in their love language. And if it's quality time, if it's physical touch, y'all know, get in some adulting. If it's whatever it is, if it's words of affirmation, make sure you really communicate to them how important it was and how much it meant for them to make your family happy. So these are just 3 things that we could do this year to make sure we have a happy holiday and we're able to greet these seasons, because it is the season to be jolly and the reason for the season is a good one. I know, I'll throw in this bonus one. What if we come from different religions? And I'll have that happen a lot. I have people that are, in our culture, we have a lot of Islamic families and Christian families coming together and say, hey, I don't believe in that, or you commercialized it. I always think of it like this. I'm not asking you to change your beliefs. It has been commercialized, but it's a time to see family. It's a time to be together as a family. And I think God wants us to be happy and to be joyful, because you don't know how long before his gifts go back to him. So anyways, I know we have our differences, but families aren't just about the religiosity of it and one religion being better than the other. It's also a time for families to come together. So try and cut a deal. You'll be amazed what you do for your marriage. Anyways, this is Dr. Shane. I thank you all for joining me tonight. And I want to hear how you use these 3 tips to get your special gift under the Christmas tree and give it to your spouse. And that's the gift of love. Make it a great day. Happy holidays, Dr. Shane.